Hey guys, so today we are talking about additive and multiplicative relationships. So you should have this note sheet out. If you do not have that, you need to get it. We are only going to work on additive relationship right now for this video, and then on the second video I post, it'll have multiplicative. So in this first box up here, this is where we're going to put our definition of what additive relationship is. And additive relationship means that each sum, so let's write that, each sum is found by adding the same number to an addend. Okay, so that looks like y is equal to x plus a, which is down here. This is the formula you're going to use when solving an additive relationship, or whenever you need to write out what that equation looks like. So anytime you're adding. Okay, so there's going to be 4 different ways that we can describe this. One is verbally. One is symbolically. Numerically, and graphically. So that's 4 different ways that we're going to either show or talk about what additive relationship is. So the example I'm going to use is going to be y is equal to x plus 4. And I'm just kind of writing off to the side so you can see where I'm coming from. So this is the example I'm going to use. So verbally, how would we describe that? How would we say that? Or what would you be reading that would verbally tell you that something is being added, or we're adding 4? Well, y is equal to x plus 4. Let's think about that. Y is 4 more than x. Okay, y is 4 more than x. So think about that, 4 more. That's all we're doing there is seeing what that would look like in like a word problem or something. Okay. Symbolically, that's basically what I just wrote. That's the equation that you're going to write out. Y is equal to x plus 4. So in this case, the a is being replaced with this 4 right here, because that is our rule. And I'll explain that one here in a second whenever we get to this part. Okay, the next part is numerically. So numerically, what are we talking about? A number form. What do we mean? So let's take a look at this. In the case that we have x plus 4, it could be anything. So we probably need to look at our table. So we need to go ahead and fill that part out. And I think I've described this already, or I told you, but your x values, they can be anything, because this is our input. At any point, practicing the input-output table, if I tell you any number, you're going to have to give me a number back. But it doesn't matter really what number it is here whenever it's blank. I can put anything into the machine, and it will give me a number back. So I'm just going to put 0 through 4 to start our examples off. Okay, and so in this case, let's go ahead and fill out our table. So if this is my input, what will my output be if I have 4 being added to each one of these? So I'm going to look at my x. In this case, it's 0. And then I'm actually going to switch pens, and we're going to add 4. And we're going to do that all the way down. So imagine that there's like another column right here, and this is where the rule happens. Okay, so add all the way down, and what do we get for our output? For y, 0 plus 4 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 plus 4 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, so now we have our x value and our y value. So in the case that they would ever ask you to write this as a coordinate, this would actually look like 0, 4, or 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, 4, 8. And those would actually be the coordinates you would graph. So let's go ahead and jump back down to numerically. So in the case that x is 2, if x is equal to 2, then what am I going to do here? If x is 2, then my answer is going to be what? 6. Because 2 plus 4 is 6. X plus 4, where we got it here. X plus 4. Okay, so that's where we're pulling that information. So that's describing that numerically or with our numbers. Okay, last thing is graphically. And this is where we're going to plot it on a graph. So up here we have our coordinates. Off to the side I listed them, and so now we need to put them in our graph. So let's go ahead and label our graph. Over here in my x value, because this is my x, this is my y, I'm gonna I'm gonna label that one with a blue. That way you can kind of tell the difference. So I have x here, and if you look, I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on here because it matches perfect. That's supposed to be 0 there. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but then if you notice, when we get to y, we have bigger numbers. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can't start down here and say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just not going to work. So you have to continue to start at 0, but we need to be able to space this out to match or to fit everything in. So it's going by 2s, or I've noticed it can. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, or 5 ticks, if I did by 2s, that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And my graph or my table does not go any further than 10. So I think I could fit everything on there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And so my graph should stop roughly around this spot. Okay? So let's go ahead and graph. So we're looking at this first coordinate, 0, 4. So I start at my 0 for x, and I'm going to go up 4. Something to note here is that if it is an additive relationship, it will not go through the origin because it just won't. Multiplicative is the one that will go through origin. So just know that. So we started here at 0. And we are always, so we're adding 4. It goes to 4, bam. Okay, we have 1, 5, so let's go to 1 and go up to 5. It's roughly in the middle between 4 and 6. Although it's not technically listed on the graph, it's still there. 2, 6, go to 2, go to 6, and plot. So I'm running before I jump. Okay, so if you can see, it matches up, 2, 6. Let's finish up, 3. We're going to run and go up to 7. 3, 7. It's roughly in the middle between 6 and 8. And then 4, 8. So 4 all the way up to 8. I think that's about right there. Okay, so we have our dots plotted. Now we need to start at our y-axis and then draw our line up. Okay. All right, so that is pretty much it for that part. The last thing I'm going to say is that you may want to just label this part as, your y value, as we talked about earlier, was our output. That means like what we're going to end up getting. So if we're adding these two numbers, it's going to be our sum. This would be my x value, which is my input, what I'm putting in to the machine, and this little guy right here is my rule. And so I've labeled those up here, and I've labeled them here. So I think that's really good to put in there. Okay, well that's all for this video. Please make sure that you cut these out and put them, this one can get cut out together, but put that into your notes.